Hey, it's Central Valley Business. I'm your host, Steve Walling. My guest for this segment is Steve Eurgubian with Eurgubian Academic Center.
You got it. That's right.
Welcome. God,
Thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, welcome back. Actually,
I know. Glad to be back.
And hey, Academic Center. It's summertime, Steve. Come on, it's time to play and go to the beach. Who wants to deal and who needs to deal with academics, right?
Oh. Well, that's a good question. That's
Yeah.
a good question. We have three different tiers of students that come in the summer.
Right.
3 months, summer vacations, really, it's 10 weeks. But
Yeah.
not 3 months, but it's 2 months and change. And 10 weeks is a long time. So if you have your son or daughter, 10 weeks is a long time to be away from reading or
Right.
doing math or doing problem-solving type skills, writing essays, that sort of thing. So we have a lot of our elementary school kids, grades 1 through 6 that come in for reading enrichment, writing enrichment. So they can practice their essay writing and practice their math skills. So when they go back to school in mid-August, they're
Steve,
fresh.
We talked a little bit about this, before we went on camera, but I want to, elementary school kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
You parent, you get your kid, and we talked about, the children that are kind of struggling, that maybe this will help to, elevate them to where they're.
Right. And then you don't want, if they're struggling leaving, say, grade 4 or 5, we don't want them falling behind in that 10 weeks where they're idle. You don't want that.
No, and that's one thing. Another thing is that for a child's self-esteem, because they are struggling in their classes, maybe.
That's right.
If they can get a leg up, and if they can continue to work on their study, habits,
Mm-hmm.
and that's important. Summertime, little kids, they leave it, they're gone, but if they can get into a program that's going to help them, grasp a little bit more, utilize their study habits a little bit more.
And that's huge. They start the school year in mid-August, and they
Right.
get off to a good start, say the first 4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
Confidence-wise, that's
It
that's
gets
a
them ahead
big
of the
thing.
game.
That's
That's
a big
a
thing.
big one.
It's a big thing, yes.
And you also have some higher performers in that age group that you don't want them to get bored. You don't want them to, kind of.
And you want them to kind of forge ahead. You don't want them to fall
Right.
behind. 10 weeks is long. It's like if you're working out in the gym,
Right.
right? And you don't work out at all, no physical activity at all, no lifting or running or any of that for 10 weeks. That's a layover. You're
It's
gonna when
tough.
you get back to the gym or you get back to your exercise regimen, you're going to have a little bit of catching up to do because you're a little rusty.
Right.
And we don't want our kids to be rusty.
No, not a bit. So your summer programs for that group, hit all those.
That's
different
correct.
things,
Yes, absolutely.
and it's good for a parent to know. But now let's move beyond elementary school as we begin to move in middle school, or what we used to call junior high school, and then high school. In
Yes.
that range there, now of course there's the individuals that are struggling, that they got to catch up, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're at a point in our young person's school career where we got to start looking ahead.
That's right.
We got to plan ahead. If we're
So you got SAT, ACT
Right.
readiness. You have summer work they might have to do for upcoming advanced classes. College personal statements for those students going into grade 12.
Right.
Those statements are due in applications are due in November.
and you
but
provide
hey,
help for that too.
yes, absolutely. And
Okay.
you don't want you have some idle time in the summer,
Mhm.
and I can't stress enough. You have to use that idle time
And
wisely.
again, it comes to we got to plan ahead for our kids.
And I hear a lot of students that come, parents actually, they come to me in August, September, October as the school year gets going, and they're like, gosh, we should have done this
We
over
should
the
have, yeah.
summer.
Uh-huh.
We had time to do it.
Yeah.
So you really want to make use of that summertime
Now
wisely.
is
That's
that
right.
time.
You're in
Beginning of
town,
summer.
and it's
Yeah.
107 outside.
Yeah.
It's 73 in the office.
There you go. And get your kids in.
That's
Keep
right.
them focused. Help them get a leg up. Peer pressure. We think about like bullies and stuff like that.
Right.
Comes in many different things. But if your child is struggling grade-wise,
Mm-hmm.
educate. They feel that kind of an inferior position against. That can be devastating. And if you can help
Absolutely.
them out at this stage of their life,
Mhm.
I mean, it pays dividends throughout the rest of their life.
Right. Right.
And that's just awesome.
Right. Absolutely.
So then we move
Absolutely.
beyond, junior high, high school. We're getting prepped for college, and we're making sure we're solid as the school year approaches. But it doesn't end there, does it?
No.
Now we're talking about let's go to grade 13, right?
Grade 13 is really the first year of university.
Right.
It's funny because a lot of kids take college courses in summer school because they can't fit them all in during the school year.
Right.
And the college school year it's a little bit different than the traditional school year. It's a little bit different, but either way, they're out of school from mid-May until mid-August or end of May to August. So we have a lot of times kids might take a class like statistics online or physics online or
again,
and that's a real tough class to take in an online or even a summer school setting. So we offer academic support for that.
Cool.
The kids come in. We have work with a physics tutor, chemistry tutor,
scratching,
calculus tutor.
They're scratching the back of your head and you're going, wait a second, we can
It's
deal with this.
It's not that bad. It's you got to break it down.
Right.
And once the students see kind of where the class is going, because the class is at you're taking a physics class in 5 or 6 weeks. It's tough to ask of anybody to do that. So
I've heard that rumor. Yeah.
We break that down, and it's not so bad. It's not so bad once they get in, and we get them some good sessions under their belt.
Also, for the adult that's doing college, but maybe they're working a full-time job, they got a family. You got stuff for them too, don't you?
That's right, absolutely. Yeah. And the beautiful thing is when you come in for our enrichment, it's one-on-one. You're not going to be working with.
You mean I'm not sitting there with 50,000 other people?
No, it's like you and your physics or you and your calculus or whatever subject you're in, whether you're doing grade school, elementary school.
All right, Steve, how did you manage? This is like very miracle type stuff. How did you manage to pull this off? That you can provide this kind of service for your clients.
We have a lot of different teachers that have different areas of interest. So we might have teachers that are specializing in the sciences and mathematics. We have others that might specialize in elementary age subjects and reading and writing. So we have a good staff put together. Very good staff.
You can provide that kind of service borders on the miraculous. In today's world, that's great. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. As a parent, now as a grandparent, I'm looking at this concept. But for a young person, I did my college time and stuff. Mm-hmm. What I would have given back then for what you're offering now. One last thing before we go about what you're offering for young people that are starting into college.
Correct.
And this is nothing we discussed before going on camera. So if I catch you, it's okay. But do you offer a class type of program for the entering college student?
It's funny that you're asking me that question. We didn't talk about that at all.
No.
I have a study skills class called Goals. It's called Get Organized and Learn a System.
That's
and
exactly what I want.
And I have 2 tiers of study skills classes, one for junior high, one for high school. And we have a couple that we're doing over the summer. And basically, these study skills classes teach your child efficient ways to make it happen in the classroom.
That's awesome.
We teach them how to take notes. We teach them how to study efficiently for a math or science test. And when you're studying for a math or science test, 3/4 of the battle is knowing what you know and what you don't know and what you need to practice on.
Yeah.
A lot of kids don't know that.
No.
But we want to offer that class for incoming freshmen as well. We might put together a class for some incoming freshmen this summer, believe it or not. So it's something I'm actually working on.
That's great. And that's really important. Steve, thanks for being with us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I love coming on the show.
You have a young person, whether you're a grandparent that has a grandkid, whether you're a parent, even if you have a young kid off the street, you want to help out. Getting them ahead in school, getting them that start. Like I say, this borders almost on the miraculous, not because it's so much of a miracle in what it is, but what it provides, because the good that's done now, again, like I said earlier in the show, it will transcend possibly their entire life, and you can't do any better than that. Again, Steve, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's
Come
always
on back.
a pleasure.
We'll talk about more good things happening. School, towards August, I'm sure things will be changed in what you're going to offer at that
then
time.
we get into our school year and what have you.
So
and,
we'll
be
talk
here
about
before
that.
you know it. Huh?
There you go. I'll be here when you come back, and I'll see you.